Greetings once again. This is Stan Houston for the Master Entrepreneur Radio program and What It Takes Teach About video program, coming together on this bright Friday. And it's fourth in our features of 10-minute entrepreneurial thoughts, so the thanks and the giving season can inspire you to what you should change and what you should do in the year 2020, which is just before us right now. That's right. Bright Friday, not Black Friday. By the way, do you know the origins of the word Black Friday? And as I understand it, supposedly in the retail business at one time, that life kind of cranked along, and it wasn't until the Friday after Thanksgiving that the retail sales were sufficient enough to make sure that the businesses would finish in the black, that they would actually make money for the year, and so thereby it was Black Friday. Well, of course, that's turned into all kinds of things. And now, of course, we have pre-Black Friday, and then we have Cyber Monday, and, of course, Giving Tuesday. And it goes on and on and on. No, it's Bright Friday. We're going to start a new tradition. It's not Black Friday. It's not where we just go and buy. It's where we begin to understand that God is with us. And we're going to celebrate His coming to be one of us. And so, this Friday, right after Thanksgiving Thursday, it's bright. It's Bright Friday. And we're going to welcome it and show the way forward to some brightness in our life and in our business. Now, as an entrepreneur, I'm challenging you this way. If you want to be successful, if you want to have brightness in your life, first of all, as an entrepreneur, you're a leader. You have to be a leader. I'm going to be doing a program called Dress for Leadership. You may have heard of Dress for Success. Well, that may or may not be true, but you're going to have to dress for leadership. And so we're going to talk about, to be a leader, you're going to have to learn and you're going to have to teach. You got that? The entrepreneur is going to have to be a leader, a learner, and a teacher. And they're going to have to be a person who contributes a sense of one thing vision, a deep sense of strategy, a non-anxious presence, and they'll be there in order to bless us and help us and preserve us. That's what we ask them to do. So on this day, I'm going to simply say we are in chapter 4. You see, number 1 was be thankful. Number 2, figure out who you're called to serve. Number 3, press toward the mark. And now number 4, FYM. It's the FYM factor. Fill your mind. And there, Saint Entrepreneur says, this is the final thing you have to do if you want to be successful in life. Fill your mind. Don't fret. Don't worry. Can I say that again? You know who I'm saying this for? Me. Because right now I'm going through some significant challenges because I've got 2 or 3 things going on in life and business. And don't fret. Don't worry. Fill your mind. And this is what Saint Entrepreneur said we need to fill our mind with. Here we go. Is it true? Seek the truth. One great entrepreneur by the name of Clement Stone said, yes, I invented positive mental attitude, but I also understood that in all of that, I was to always have the courage to find and face the truth. Fill your mind with true things, not false things, not lie things, not fake things. What is noble? Is this the noble thing to do? Not just the right thing to do. Fill your mind with things that are noble. Reputable. What a wonderful word. You are a reputable leader, a reputable business. Fill your mind with things that are reputable. Things that are real, authentic. Fill your mind with real things, not fake things. Real things, authentic things. Find those things that are compelling. Think about that. Fill your mind with things that attract people, that pull them, not just push them. Things that compel people to move. You see, the secret of success is to keep moving. Always. Learning, teaching, moving. One of my mentors said, in effect, that he found that successful business leaders were those who were mobile. They were always on the move. They moved fast, both in their personal appearance and the way they worked. They were in movement, both emotionally, spiritually. They weren't stuck. They weren't in ruts. They were not in the same old stuff. They were doing things, dealing with things that were compelling. And St. Entrepreneur says, fill your mind with compelling things. Gracious. What a wonderful word. Gracious. Has anyone ever said to you, that's a gracious thing to do? Does gracious come from the word grace? Is that part of what it means? Are you graceful? And I mean that in the double meaning. Graceful in how you conduct yourself, how you present yourself, how you treat others, how you serve others, how you give to others, how thankful you are. Do you say thank you 100 times a day? Are you gracious? And along with that, do you graceful? There we go. Not only graceful, but graceful. It comes out of you. I remember a young woman who met her first real boss at her first real job. And when someone asked her about him, she said, you know, he's real. He's the real deal. He's what they talk about. He really is. All those things I learned in business school. He's real. I'm grateful that I have someone like that to be my first boss. And oftentimes what I tell young men and women, it's not the company, it's not the job. Your first job should be a situation where you can work with somebody who is graceful and somebody who's really good at what they do. Let that be your real internship, to work for somebody who's really good at what they do and is graceful and how they present themselves and how they treat others. So, true, noble, reputable, real, the real deal, authentic, compelling, gracious, gentle. Right now they're talking a lot about Mr. Rogers and that wonderful film that has been presented. And certainly, there is what he was all about. He was that man who had great power in being gentle. In fact, St. Paul says oftentimes, let your gentleness be known to all. Let your gentleness be known to all. Your moderation, your poise. And in poise and gentleness is somewhat rooted in the same word. And so oftentimes in various translations, it is translated as gentleness, moderation, poise. Yes, indeed. Those are the words. Moderation, gentleness, yet the power of poise. Well, that's about it, folks, for this bright Friday. That's right. How can we now move forward as we have the Thanksgiving, The giving season before us in 2020 is soon right upon us. How can we live differently? How can we make a unique, great contribution to the projects that God has given us? Well, that's what it's all about. And St. Paul reminded us that it's the gig economy. We are truly to be glad in God. And remembering that He cares for you. Sometimes it's hard to remember that. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves of that. Sometimes we need to help remind each other of it as we press toward the mark of the high calling and building a life and building a business that matters and makes a difference. I'd like to help you in the coming year. Me and my colleagues at the Christian Entrepreneur Network, the Christian Entrepreneur Nation, reach out to us at tcenglobal.org. tcenglobal.org to get a little survey of what we are and what we do. If you'd like to speak to me, I'd be glad to try and help you make it through the end of the year and have a great and good start to the start of the new year. StanHouston@gmail.com, StanHouston@gmail.com. Indeed, we are now called, as St. Paul would say, receive and persevere in the amazing grace of the Master. The amazing grace of the Master entrepreneur, the one that we seek to follow so that we can truly master life and business in a powerful way, because we now have the Spirit force who will give us God's creative power. That's what it's about. Receiving and living and loving in God's creative power. I hope to see you again, even before the year ends, but certainly in the new year that's before us, because we believe that working together we can help one another. Best and blessings, and bye for now.